Tony Stark is an action figure company's dream come true. He's a superhero who builds a new version of his robo-mech armor every time technology advances, or he identifies a specialization that needs to be addressed, or just cuz. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the 10 best Iron Man figures. With so many releases in the last 10 years, literally hundreds of pieces, we need to take some steps to narrow the field a bit. As usual with our best figure lists, no hot toys. They're a class of their own. We're going to save those for the eventual best hot toys lists. And more than any other character, best is a subjective term when it comes to how the character looks. Iron Man has like 100 different armor designs, and every company that gets a license tries to make as many of them as possible. How do you rank a Figuarts movie-styled Mark V armor against a Legends comic-styled Bleeding Edge if you aesthetically don't like the Mark V armor? We're at a point where each individual suit could get its own 10 best list. Perhaps we should have started there instead. So, for the purpose of this list, we're going to stick with the classic Iron Man look as much as possible. No Hulkbuster, no Stealth, no Igor or Bones or Red Snapper, red and gold, arc reactor, no advanced specialization. Number 10 is 1984, Mattel's Marvel Secret Wars Iron Man. Mego put out the first Iron Man action figure in 1975, but discontinued it in 1978. Fans would have to wait 6 years until Mattel produced a line of figures tied into Marvel's Secret Wars crossover event. He's pocket-sized, comes with a lenticular shield. He was the ranking Iron Man figure for nearly a decade, not to mention that he was rocking an emoji face mask before anyone even knew what an emoji was. Number 9 is 2010 Hasbro Iron Man 2 comic series Iron Man. Here's the thing, Hasbro, between their movie lines and their regular Marvel Universe main line, produced about 1 million, give or take, different 4-inch Iron Man figures between 2009 when the line began and last year, 2017, as the line continued under the branding Marvel Legends. All the Marvel Universe Iron Mans get this 9 spot represented by Iron Man 2 comic series Iron Man, since absolutely no one else was or is working at the 4-inch scale. And the differences really come down to which suit suits you personally the best. Flawless. Nailed it. Number 8 is 2012 Marvel Select Avengers Mark VI Iron Man. It's a reissue of the Iron Man 2 Mark VI, reissued in 2010 with a few minor changes. He comes with open and closed hands, a removable faceplate to expose a pretty good Robert Downey Jr. likeness, and he's got an armory base. It's not the most posable, it's definitely over 6-inch scale, but it's still one of the best figures available and at a reasonable price. Number 7 is 2017 Medicom Toys Matex Mark 45 Iron Man. Matex has taken a few shots at movie-styled Iron Man figures, giving them the standard Matex treatment, packing the box with accessories. Multiple hands, multiple repulsor effects, and an alternate head showing off the Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark head inside the helmet. I don't think those words were in the right order. It also has some unique engineering with an extendable torso, allowing the figure to hit a lot more crunch poses than your average 1/12 scale Iron Man or your average 1 scale Dan Larson. Number 6 is 2014 Max Factory Figma Iron Man Mark VII Full Spec version Iron Man. The regular release of this figure comes with a gorgeous deep red metallic paint finish, 5 sets of hands, dynamic articulation, repulsor effects, and a stand. The full spec version adds an additional head with an open mask showing Tony Stark's face and snap-on armor pieces to showcase the various abilities of the Mark VII suit, from forearm missile launchers to shoulder rockets and the opened flaps of his back-mounted afterburners. Beware, it was expensive when it came out, and it's even more expensive now, especially if you're avoiding knockoffs. Number 5 is 2016 Comicave Studios Omni Class Mark 43 Iron Man. When it comes to unique engineering, it's hard to beat Comicave's Iron Man. This figure has extendable joints to allow for a great range of movement while retaining as much aesthetic accuracy as possible. Not only does this figure come with 5 different handsets, but it also has a built-in, battery-operated, switch-activated light-up effect for the eyes and arc reactor, something that no amount of painting can properly reproduce. On top of all that, this figure is 75% die-cast metal, comes with shoulder-mounted rockets, repulsor effects, movable flaps, and, according to Comicave's website, it's mobile. You can literally take it wherever you go. Number 4 is 2002 Toybiz Marvel Legends Series 1 Iron Man. The The classics never die, especially when it's classic not just because it's old, but also because it's done well and it's one of the more affordable pieces on this list. While his proportions might be a bit questionable, he's a great example of an Iron Man figure that not only captures the look and feel of classic Iron Man comic book style, but he also looks like a guy wearing a suit of armor. Many times Iron Man figures look more like robots than they do suits that are being worn. This one does not. It's bulky and awkward, and that's part of the charm. It's got a ton of articulation, a removable mask, and a detailed, heavily painted diorama stand featuring the Stark name on a, I don't know, what is it, like a solar panel for a satellite? Whatever it is, works for me. Number 3 is 2015 Sentinel Armorize Iron Man metallic version. Harkening back to the old animated series Toybiz figures of the 90s, he's the only Iron Man on this list with removable armor. The base figure is Tony Stark in a body-hugging suit with pegs and holes that the armor can be attached to. That's where the name Armorize comes from. It's like when I get dressed to go to work in the morning, I don't get dressed, I clotherize. He's got 3 different hand sets, 12 different armor pieces that can be attached, none of which impede his range of movement. He has a helmeted head and a Tony Stark head, and that Tony Stark head has articulated eyeballs for maximum eye roll memeing efficiency. Good enough. Number 2 is 2009 Twin Pack Comic Style Iron Man and 2016 Civil War 3-Pack MCU Iron Man. Hasbro's produced a lot of Iron Man figures since they took over the line from Toybiz in 2007, and that is really who's in the number 2 spot here. All of Hasbro's Iron Mans. The best Hasbro classic comic-styled figure, complete with Timothy Dalton-inspired Tony Stark face, is the 2009 Maria Hill 2-Pack Iron Man. The best Hasbro modern comic-styled figure is the 2018 Okoye Wave Invincible Iron Man. The best Hasbro Marvel Cinematic-styled figure is the Battle Damage Mark 46, complete with repulsor effects and a Robert Downey Jr. head from the Civil War 3-Pack with Spider-Man and Captain America. Hasbro has an Iron Man to fit all your needs, and nearly all of them are priced to add to your collection if you're just starting out or realized you wanted to go back and get one that you passed on when it was originally released. They're affordable enough that you can pursue a whole haul of armor and still collect other action figures beyond Tony Stark and his toys. Number 1 is 2016 SH Figuarts Mark 46 Iron Man and all the Figuarts Iron Mans. As of January 2018, Figuarts has produced 14 different Iron Man armors, and every single one of them is a gorgeous, highly articulated, shiny metallic work of art, packed with extra hands, repulsor effects, and an occasional Tony Stark head. More expensive than Marvel Legends, but with more detail, accessories, and posability, the final product in hand and on camera is a degree of magnitude more visually stunning than everything else available at the 6-inch scale. You're going to have to take a few more steps to acquire them since Figuarts is an import brand, or you're going to have to pay a little bit more to acquire them through a domestic online retailer or possibly your local comic shop. These aren't figures that will be showing up at Target or Walmart anytime soon. Ultimately, the best Iron Man is all about 1, what suit you like the best, 2, whether you want a comic book look or a movie look, and 3, how much money you have to spend. Gone are the days of waiting 5 or 6 years between releases. We've reached a point where Tony Stark isn't the only one constantly producing new versions of Iron Man, so if you don't like what is currently on the shelves, just wait a few months and something else will replace it. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already a subscriber, share this video, and let us know in the comments down below what your favorite Iron Man figure is. This list was really, really tough. There was like 2 Iron Man figures in existence until the Toybiz animated line came out in the 90s. Then Marvel Legends hits in the early 2000s, and it's still a manageable batch of figures. But once the Marvel Cinematic Universe blew up after the first Iron Man movie in 2008, it's just an absolute deluge of figures across scales and brands. And I'm guessing Spider-Man, Batman, and Optimus Prime are the only ones who've outpaced him in that time. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. What do you do with it?
I got it again.
We threw darts at a board. That's how we picked them.
Cut.